For years, a deep quiet crept into Australia's fragmented rainforests, a silence that spoke of loss. The air, once alive with the chorus of countless creatures, now felt heavy and still, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. The vibrant hum of insects faded, flashes of unique creatures grew rare, and ancient forests became isolated islands. Each patch of green was cut off from the next, and the once bustling undergrowth became eerily quiet, with only the occasional movement betraying the presence of life. This fragmentation choked the ecosystem, unraveling the intricate web of life. The connections that once allowed species to thrive were severed, leaving the forests vulnerable and exposed. Local conservationists like Ian McMaster felt the loss deeply, planting thousands of native trees to reconnect the land. Their hands worked tirelessly, driven by hope and a sense of responsibility to heal what had been broken. Yet, despite their efforts, the silence often remained. The forests, though greener, still lacked the energy and movement that once defined them. Rare species, like the southern pink underwing moth, teetered on the brink, their habitats shrinking. These delicate creatures, symbols of the forest's hidden wonders, were disappearing before our eyes. The problem was bigger than a missing moth. The entire balance was off. Without the small, unseen workers of the forest, everything began to falter. Without insects, pollination slowed, and the forest floor grew still. Flowers wilted without visitors, and seeds failed to spread, threatening the next generation of trees. Scientists realized planting trees wasn't enough. They needed to reintroduce the tiny creatures that powered the ecosystem. The forest's recovery depended on restoring not just its trees, but its entire living community. Desperation sparked bold conversations among ecologists and community leaders. They debated, questioned, and dreamed of new ways to revive the forests. Old methods were too slow. They needed a catalyst to jump-start the system. Time was running out, and the forest could not wait for gradual change. They looked at the empty branches and silent nights, imagining what it would take to fill them with life again. The challenge was daunting, but the vision was clear. A forest alive with sound and movement once more. In this atmosphere of urgent need, a radical plan began to take shape. It was a plan that would require courage, creativity, and the willingness to try something never attempted before. They would not just wait for life to return, they would bring it back in a spectacular, unprecedented wave. The hope was that, with every flutter and crawl, the silent forest would find their voice again. The idea was audacious. What if, instead of waiting for nature to heal itself, they gave it a massive push, a bold intervention on a scale never before attempted in these forests? The plan, release millions of moth caterpillar eggs into struggling forests, was nothing short of ecological shock therapy. It was a radical attempt to jumpstart the food web, to restore what had been lost after years of decline. They carefully selected native vital species teetering on the edge of extinction, hoping to bypass the most vulnerable life stage and give these insects a fighting chance at survival. At the heart of the project was the elusive southern pink underwing moth, a species whose caterpillar depended entirely on the rare Caronia vine, one of the most threatened plants in the region. By seeding these precious vines with carefully collected eggs, the team hoped to rebuild the moth's population from the ground up, restoring a crucial link in the ecosystem. Other key species, like the bag shelter moth, were included in the effort, each chosen for their unique role in restoring balance and supporting the web of life. Skepticism was high. Releasing what some called pests seemed risky. But the scientists argued passionately that these insects were not destroyers, but regulators, essential for the health of the forest. After months of heated debate, careful planning, and weighing every risk, the ambitious project was finally approved, marking a new chapter in conservation. Volunteers and scientists worked side by side, meticulously preparing the tiny eggs, each one a fragile promise of future life, hope packed into a shell no bigger than a pinhead. As they ventured into the restoration zones, carefully placing eggs onto native plants, anticipation and nervous excitement filled the air. Every egg placed was a leap of faith. They weren't just releasing eggs, they were releasing a chance for the silent forests to find their voice again. The experiment was underway, and with it, the hope of a million new beginnings. The waiting was the hardest part. Every morning, the forest seemed to hold its breath, as if anticipating a secret about to be revealed. The air was thick with expectation, and each day felt longer than the last. For weeks, the forest stayed quiet, eggs clinging invisibly to leaves. Hidden from sight, These tiny capsules of life waited for the perfect moment, their presence known only to those who looked closely. Then, under the gentle warmth of the Australian sun, the first caterpillars emerged, microscopic, hungry, and ready to eat. Their arrival was almost imperceptible at first, a quiet stirring on the leaves. This was the Great Awakening, the first pulse of life returning. With each sunrise, more and more caterpillars joined the world, moving for the very first time, driven by instinct and hunger. The caterpillars grew rapidly, molting and transforming with each stage. Their bodies changed almost overnight, shedding old skins, as they prepared for the next phase of their journey. Soon, the forest floor and branches teemed with new life, the silence replaced by the soft sound of millions of tiny mandibles. The once still landscape was now alive with movement and purpose. Leaves showed delicate lacework from feeding, and vibrant caterpillars painted the landscape with color. Their patterns and hues stood out against the green, a living mosaic in the wild. Each species brought its own unique form, turning the forest into a living art installation. The diversity was astonishing: stripes, spots, and spikes, each caterpillar a tiny masterpiece. Birds and predatory insects returned, drawn by the abundance of food. The forest echoed with new sounds, wings fluttering, beaks tapping, and the rustle of leaves as hunters searched for prey. The caterpillars re-energized the food web from the bottom up. Every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest bird, felt the impact of this renewal. Scientists and volunteers walked the trails in awe. Their careful planning and patience had led to this moment, and now they witnessed nature's resilience firsthand. They witnessed the direct result of their bold decision, a world unfurling before their eyes. The sense of accomplishment and wonder was palpable, shared by all who had worked to restore this place. The forest was alive again, renewal had begun, and with it, hope for the future of this remarkable ecosystem. Among the millions of caterpillars, one stood out, the southern pink underwing moth larva, with its astonishing skull-like mask. When threatened, it reared up, revealing a ghoulish pattern to startle predators. This illusion, pure biological art, was a powerful survival tool. Its thriving presence meant the most delicate part of the plan was working. The coronia vines were fulfilling their ancient purpose. Seeing these skull-faced caterpillars was a deeply emotional victory for the team. The story captured public imagination, turning the caterpillar into a symbol of the project. It shifted perceptions, showing that even humble insects hold astonishing secrets. The forest's smallest inhabitants were now seen as intricate, vital parts of our natural heritage. Some caterpillars relied on spectacle in numbers. Bag shelter moth larvae, or processionary caterpillars, rested in communal silk sacs by day. At night, they formed mesmerizing single-file processions, each head to tail, moving as a living chain. This coordinated movement was a survival strategy. Together, they were formidable. The processions became iconic images of the forest's rebirth. People watched in wonder as these living ribbons navigated the landscape. It was a moving representation of interconnectedness. Each caterpillar was part of something larger. The great processions reminded all that in nature, unity brings strength and beauty. The return of caterpillars brought joy and caution. Many, like the processionary caterpillars, were armed with venomous barbed hairs that could cause painful rashes or trigger allergies. Project leaders launched public awareness campaigns, teaching communities to admire from a distance. The danger extended to pets and livestock. Some animals suffered severe reactions from contact or ingestion. Rewilding meant reintroducing all aspects of native species, including their hazards. These defenses were essential for survival, discouraging overpredation. The project taught a vital lesson. Living alongside a thriving wild world requires respect and understanding. The caterpillars were not tame, they were wild, complex, and necessary. Wisdom and caution were as important as admiration. For too long, moths and their caterpillars were seen only as pests. This project challenged that view, revealing their vital ecological roles. Caterpillars act as natural pruners, shaping plant communities and supporting biodiversity. Adult moths are unsung pollinators, ensuring countless plants reproduce, many of which bloom only at night. The full life cycle is a gift. Caterpillars feed birds and reptiles, pupae nourish others, and adult moths pollinate and feed nocturnal hunters. Each stage is a vital link in the chain of life. The pest label faded, replaced by appreciation for moths as gardeners, pollinators, and food web cornerstones. The forest's health depended on their return. After weeks of feeding, a quiet fell as caterpillars disappeared to transform. Hidden in cocoons and chrysalises, they underwent miraculous change. Then, the emergence began. Adult moths pushing out, wings unfurling in the night air. The diversity was breathtaking. Robust bag shelter moths, delicate lichen mimics, and the stars, the southern pink underwing moths. When these rare moths flashed their brilliant pink underwings, it was pure awe. To see hundreds, then thousands, was a miracle. The nights filled with the soft fluttering of wings, the air alive with moths on nocturnal errands. Porch lights became gathering spots for these beautiful visitors, sparking wonder. The project restored not just species, but a sense of magic to the night. The skies became a kaleidoscope of wings, a testament to the forest's spectacular recovery. The transformation was complete. The forest was alive, vibrant, and whole again. The night belonged to the moths. The great caterpillar release sent a message of hope far beyond the forests. It proved that even ecosystems on the brink can be revived with courage and creativity. The project became a blueprint for active, ambitious conservation. The return of moths and caterpillars sparked a cascade. More pollinators, more birds, a thriving food web. The forest became a living community, rewoven with countless threads of life. Success was built on partnership, scientists, volunteers, and nature itself. People formed deep connections with the land they helped heal. As the sun sets, the flutter of wings signals a new beginning. The southern pink underwing moth, once a symbol of loss, became a beacon of hope. Hope in...
can take flight on the wings of a moth.